On the channel, we got one of the most meaningful unboxings ever here on this YouTube channel, and it comes to us from the LJN Mattel Target Series 2 line with Kong Bundy and the Ultimate Warrior.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another LJN Mattel unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we dive into Series 2 head first with Kong Bundy and the Ultimate Warrior. But for all your Ultimate Warrior Kong Bundy needs, I guess you probably better head over to Target. But for everything else under the sun, hit up Ringside Collectibles, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Gotta get a deal out there. And what can you say about LJNs? That is where my wrestling figure fandom started as a little kid. I'll never forget getting my first ever LJN figure. Yes, it was Outback Jack, and I got Outback Jack with nobody for him to take on. He was the only figure at the store that day, and I needed a wrestling figure in my life. So can you imagine a little kid, like 5 years old, with just Outback Jack? That was the plight I lived at one time. But of course, my collection grew, and it's grown ever since to what we have right here, right now. But then when I think of the LJNs, and obviously Grand Toys, it was where the Warrior was. We're going to call it LJN for this video. The Ultimate Warrior was possibly the greatest action figure gift I ever got as a kid. Out of the back of the wrestling magazines, I got that black series, except for Rick Rude. I didn't want any part of Rick Rude. I got everybody else, including the Ultimate Warrior, in that fateful day as a little boy. Getting this Ultimate Warrior figure in my collection was such an absolute game changer. Put yourself in little Kyle's shoes. Ultimate Warrior, my absolute favorite wrestler. Just loving and wanting everything and anything Ultimate Warrior. To get the first ever action figure of your favorite was just such a moment in time I'll never forget. I can still remember that house. It was like 8 houses ago I lived in or something like that, but I can still remember exactly where the furniture was, where I was sitting, all points in between. Opening that bad boy up and immediately wanting to go play with my figures. And heck, I had the rest of the Black Card series as well, but I'll never forget that first ever Ultimate Warrior. In a lot of ways, what I am now as a person, it's weird to say that kind of thing, but it all stems from that Ultimate Warrior figure and that Ultimate Warrior moment in time where he was just sweeping the nation, was the talk of the playground and all points in between. But that Warrior really transcends action figures to me. And really is that high I constantly chase in action figures to get back to that special moment, which will never happen again, but they're going to try here today with the reissues. Now, it's been almost 4 decades since the Warrior came out, probably 4 decades on the nose, probably for Kong Bundy. So I understand it. I've talked ad nauseum on the channel about my thoughts about these LJN Mattels coming back out there. This is definitely great for those that don't want or can't afford the old LJN one from long ago. I get it. Nobody wants to spend $500 on a figure, but it does take some of the specialness away from that original one. I personally wish the arms would have been different or the paint job would have been different, and we thankfully did get a little of that. We're going to dive into it. Enough out of me. Enough jibber jabber. Let's get into it. We're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And there is some tweaks, differences outside of just the material on these figures, which I do appreciate because I like it. I understand why they do it. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I guess I shouldn't say I like it. I don't like it, but I understand why it's done. I put the business hat on. I totally understand it. But enough. Once again, I got to get into it. We're going to start with Kong Bundy. We're saving the best for last. And I'm sorry, King Kong, but Warrior is the best for last. Now, as a kid, I never got LJN off the pegs. LJN Kong Bundy off the pegs. I had a buddy who was getting out of wrestling and said, hey, I got some extra figures. Do you want them? His Bundy was one of them. So that's how I did pick up Kong Bundy back in the day. But an all-timer, if there ever was one, we'll never forget WrestleMania 2, his tag team with Big John Studd. An all-timer as far as wrestlers go, and especially wrestling figures, as his original LJN was a brick, basically, at the end of the day. We do got, of course, WWE superstars at the top, ages 6 and up, World Wrestling Entertainment, Kong Bundy, LJN, Kong Bundy poster inside, Mattel. You got the Hulkster and Big John Studd squaring off in the back. I love the homage to the packaging design of old. Now, once again, there is black card series. So black cards are the chase. Doesn't really set my world on fire. However, though, with this series here, I'm going to have to track down a black and blue mint on card Ultimate Warrior for my collection. And then this will be my Lucy version. Same figures inside the chase ones, so make note of that. I will say the black cards, I think, personally display better. I like the looks of the black cards. I don't know. Your mileage may vary, as we always say. But there's Bundy on the front. On the back, you got the LJN logo, which Mattel did buy the LJN license. You got the UPC up there in the top corner, which is a little bit different. Jibber jabber, old school cross sell. I really appreciate that. Then you got the file card over here as well. I remember clipping those as a kid. I had all the posters on my wall. Magical time, if there ever was one. But let's get old King Kong Bundy out of the package here. First, I should probably read the back of the package. King Kong Bundy, bald skull glistening, eyes glaring, and lips twisted into a vicious snarl. King Kong Bundy is one of the most frightening figures in WWE, standing 6 foot 5 inches tall and weighing 458 pounds. You would think that Bundy could easily defeat his opponents without breaking any rules, but anything goes when King Kong Bundy is in combat. And you ever seen King Kong Bundy with hair? It's such a strange thing. It's such a strange thing. We got a classic Superstars that way once upon a time. What are we doing here? What are we doing? See you later. Goodbye. It's been so long since I've opened Series 1. I can't remember how to open these guys, I guess. We do get the poster there. And try to get it out without destroying that file card, as we know. I'm going to at least save the file cards on these, I think is my plan. There we go. Little slide out the back. See you later, shuffle. Goodbye. I'll cut that out later. We do get the back protector, which is key for things like this, because when they get stuck in there against that cardboard, they could rip, and you know, we don't want any of that paint rub off or anything like that. So see you later. Goodbye. Let's get this poster out. How about it? Looks like we got to get the old razor blade out to get this out. I do save my posters. I'm not exactly sure. See you later. Goodbye. What I'm doing with them after all. But it is King Kong Bundy. There's multiple different posters. I think there's 3 different poster designs. I'm not really paying attention, keeping track of that. But if you're trying to chase down the poster variants, good luck to you. But good luck to me with King Kong Bundy. First thing I noticed, extremely light compared to the old LJN. Obviously, it looks a lot like the LJN, but you would know in a heartbeat if you had these guys side by side. And I guess I could do that right now. Put them side by side. I mean, this is probably double the weight of this new one here. So there is some serious differences in sizing between these two. Similars, though, of course, you got the singlet over the top, the black singlet, the black knee pads, the black boots, bald head, all that usual stuff. It is an homage, Todd McFarlane, to the King Kong Bundy of old. But there is definitely a difference between them. You can see kind of the orange skin tone on the rubber, where this is full-on rubber. This is plastic rubber, but doesn't have the movements, and we've seen that between the two. So I don't think anybody's going to get confused. If you touch them, you're going to know there's a difference. So you do have that going for it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, at San Diego Comic-Con 2025, I believe King Kong Bundy, wasn't he shown with white boots, or maybe it was white shoelaces on that? There was a difference, and I really wish they would have kept that one. Once again, you're going to feel the difference, see the difference of them side by side, but to make them just a little bit different, I would have liked to seen that, give it a little extra pizzazz, but it does not have that. So he's all in black across the board on this one here. Where are these made at? These are made in China, not made in Vietnam. So I don't think Mattel's going to tell us our business practices or their business practices, but it's interesting that we see the main event figures and these LJN superstars still being made in China, where the elites and ultimates have went to Vietnam. I wonder the reasoning for that. Is it because the elites and ultimates are a little bit more detailed, so it's cheaper to get done in Vietnam? At the end of the day, follow the money, Jesse Ventura style. And we'll do another LJN unboxing with Jesse the Body Ventura and Stone Cold Steve Austin, so be on the lookout for that one as well. No articulation on this figures. I don't know if I needed to say that, but just in case anybody was wondering, he is in the same pose as we can see. You got the hands down there. You got the big bald head, and you got the pack of hot dogs on the back. I always love that pack of hot dogs back there. He's got that weird grimace on the face still with the white teeth, kind of the, I don't know what that is, a Bell's palsy look almost. He does got 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth, and a very shiny bald head that would make Mr. Clean blush. There's no doubt about it. But cool for what it is. It's funny as nostalgic-wise, not a favorite LJN of mine back in the day. It was what it was, but I just missed the Bundy highlight era. When I came into wrestling was shortly after WrestleMania 3, and that was where he was facing the little people with Hillbilly Jim. So I never took King Kong Bundy as serious as maybe some others did that were fandoms before me. So Either way, and then I remember him mostly from live TV watching when he was a part of the $1 Million Corporation, which is wild to see as well. So still cool, a moment in time, and it's great to have Bundy back under a Legends deal. But now we move over to the main event. No offense, King Kong, but the main event is the Ultimate Warrior here, and I said all I needed to say really at the beginning about my history with this one. Absolutely do love this figure, and it brings me a lot of joy whenever I see it. So it is still special, even if it is the same kind of thing going on, it's still special for this one. But all in all, I would like to see some updates. I'd like to see some different Warriors in the style in the future. Fingers crossed that happens. But if you've never had the beauty of owning the LJN Grand Toys once upon a time, this can be the closest thing you're going to get to it. So kudos to that. Like I said, I got to track down a black card and a blue card, been on card for this one. So I'm going to be on the lookout. And also another asterisk, an extra caveat with this. As I'm filming this right now, Target just put these LJNs in their corporate ad, 20% off WWE figures this week. So if you're hunting stores online, doesn't seem like they're still available at all. But if you come to them in the stores, you're going to save 20%. Got to get the deal out there, as we know. But there it is. Ultimate Warrior looking pretty good in the package. Poster included. WWE Superstars, LJN, blue card on the back, UPC. We do got the blurb back here as well. You got the cross sell down below, jibber jabber, 6 enough as well. Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior lives for battle and thrives on confrontation. One of the most unique individuals ever to enter WWE with a physique chiseled from stone, face covered with war paint, and pendants dangling from his massive arms and legs. Ultimate Warrior blends power moves with exceptional speed to gain a victory. How about that? Very cool. I'm drinking it in, soaking it in. You can cut and collect all WWE Superstar cards. And we did unbox all of Series 1 on the channel, so if you missed any of those, go back and check that out. But these are very hard to get out of the package, which I do appreciate. I do appreciate the hard carding on these. If you ever had an original LJN, these were always beat up, veined up and stuff. These are very nice. If you want to keep these forever, they will stay very nice. And I will say, Series 1 had some problems with things breaking on the bubble. Haven't seen that so far in this series. So your mileage may vary, as we always do say. But can I get the Warrior out? I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best to free the Warrior here. Somebody's got to free him. And I'm just that guy. I'm just that guy. Uh-oh. Ooh, that's dangerously close. I almost ripped that file card. Very close to ripping that file card. That's all we want. That's a bad day at the office for old Kyle. But we're going to try. We're going to try to get in here. See you later, goodbye. And I know somebody's screaming at their TV, their phone right now. See you later, goodbye, saying, you need to do this, you need to open it that way, you need to do this. Well, I'm not doing that, so sorry. Sorry about your luck, is what we're going to say. Can I get this? Oh, I ripped the card. That's what I get for talking through it all. That's what I get. So it goes. Maybe I'll get another one. I don't know. The things I do. The things I do. See you later, goodbye. See you later, goodbye. What are we doing, Kyle? What are we doing with our lives? That's the $1 million question. Somebody asked Ted DiBiase. Here we go. Let's get this out. See you later, goodbye as well. We got the Warrior poster. Oh, beautiful. I might frame this one up. I might put this one on display. Very cool. And you know what? Maybe I do need to track down all the different posters for the Warrior. That might be something I might end up doing. Long game it, maybe. Maybe. We'll see what happens there. But now we got the Warrior out of the package. I'd be lying if I said I had the same feelings the minute I picked this one up as I did back in like 1989, but still really cool, and it still is very nostalgic, no doubt about it. Very, very special. And when you think of the Ultimate Warrior, it's funny is this is about as untoyetic as the Ultimate Warrior ever looked as far as face paint and colors. You have so many bright colors, so many bright paints, but once again, it's so special moment in time that it's like when I close my eyes and I think of the Ultimate Warrior, this is the first or second thing I think of with the Ultimate Warrior, which is really wild to say, but very, very cool here. Now, you do got Warrior going on. You got the long hair in brown, and I guess let's bring out that other Ultimate Warrior. Let's bring out that LJN Grand Toys Once Upon a Time. And as we can see right here, there is definitely differences. Once again, just like King Kong Bundy, we shouldn't be confusing these two for the same figure ever. I am very appreciative that Mattel gave us a different hair color for this one. Instead of kind of this reddish brown, maroon, auburn color, we got more of a dark brown color on this one here. We also got more vibrant color in the tassels and everything else. We also got a different skin tone color. A lot of people hated this warrior because of like the peachy skin tone. It looks like he's just all fired up. His blood pressure's flowing to me. I never had an issue with this, but a lot of people have had issues over the years with the skin tone color. This one has brought maybe a little bit more realistic. Now, Warrior's been very tan a time or two, especially in this era as well. So they could have went tanner with it, but it isn't the peach hue we had once upon a time. But besides that, very similar figures across the board here. Now, the face is definitely different as well. The old Warrior has a little bit more of an open mouth and a little shorter face. This Warrior is more realistic, kind of a longer face for Warrior. Face paint very similar, but still differences in the face paint. And even the hues on the color on the wrist tape and things like that is a little bit different. So that could be a little bit of fading over the years, but I don't think so. One thing I do like about this one, especially, I like the glossiness on the boots here. You got more of a flat boot color on this. But all in all, I do like that it is different and size different as well. This one's just a hair taller than this Warrior. Very cool to see, though. It's very cool. It is still nostalgic, and we know these toy companies, they want every dollar out of our wallets. There's no mistake in that. That's why we see Hasbro, Mattel, Playmates, all these companies reissue stuff all the time because they see a feed in the market that says, hey, we can get some more money. Let's funnel it. Let's give people what they want. Let's make the money. So I understand Mattel's business practice. As much as they care about their fans, they care about us. They also have people that are stockholders in the company, people that got to move the needle forward. And if they find a way to do something like this, they're going to do it. It makes sense. It is business sense. But this Warrior is pretty darn cool, I will say, to get this. But we're not done with the Warrior here. I did do a video about a week ago on the channel, so go back and watch that. I did pick up a prototype version of this Ultimate Warrior just to have in my collection. It was on eBay and pretty much fits the bill of this one here. So very interesting to see these guys side by side. Very cool, though. If you're a Warrior collector, you're probably going to want a piece of this one, especially if you couldn't afford the Grand Toys one back in the day, the LJN one back in the day, or you couldn't afford it right now. This will have to do. And I know there's a lot of collectors, I've seen it in the comments, said, hey, I've had this in my searches for the old LJN. Not going to do it anymore because I can get this one for $20, or I could pay $400 for a loose one, or $3,000 for a mint on card one. It doesn't make financial sense, and I totally understand that as well. So a lot of jibber jabber from me in this video here, but a very special unboxing. Bundy, he's cool, but this Warrior, so nostalgic, and a simpler time in my life and maybe a lot of other people's life, and such a special moment as a little kid getting this Warrior in my collection, and just what it means to me still to this day. And it's just, I always look at this one. I can always see the LJN Warrior from the couch when I'm watching TV or whatever, and I look over at that. It's just, I don't know, a simpler time is what it was. So there it is, though. LJN Mattel version, Ultimate Warrior and King Kong Bundy. Be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on these two here. Pick up in all of them, pass on all of them, getting a mint on card set, a loose set, only black cards, only blue cards. What's your plan for these? And what is your plan for the future? Do you think this set will go for 100 lines? Do you think it'll burn out in the future? What are your thoughts on the LJN Mattel figures? Be interested to hear in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell as we got videos every single day. And then some. We got even more content for you on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Videos every single day over there. Bonus content, glamour shots, Q&A, early access to the podcast. You name it, it's all going down on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. And best of all, you do support the channel. Sir Paul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. Also name my podcast, Kyle Peterson Show. Available every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, with videocast on YouTube. So for the Ultimate Warrior, King Kong Bundy, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.